Hi, I'm Scott. Welcome to Synth Stuff. Join me today as I fly my airplane to Sweetwater in Fort Wayne, Indiana to see all the latest synthesizers coming out.
Medina traffic, experimental 797, Delta Lima departing 27.
So many of you may know that I have been a commercial multi-engine instrument-rated pilot for over 30 years. Almost as long as I've been into synthesizers, I've been into flying airplanes, and this is my airplane. It is a Cozy Mark IV experimental amateur-built airplane. Flies about 165 knots, which is about 190 miles an hour, and I use it to go places. And today, we're going to fly it to Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is normally a 3.5 to 4 hour drive. Normally I can do it in about 45 to 50 minutes in this airplane. We do have a headwind today, so it's going to take us a little bit longer. Probably closer to about an hour.
Medina traffic, experimental 797, Delta Lima departing to the west.
But that means we'll have a tailwind for the trip back. I do try to get out to Sweetwater maybe about once a year just to make the pilgrimage out there, just to check out all the newest and latest synthesizers that they have, get hands-on for stuff that I know I'll never be able to afford or that don't really suit my purposes, but I'd still like to try them anyway, and that is definitely what we're going to see here today. I got to try a bunch of new synthesizers, and a couple that I was really excited to play. One that I was hoping was going to be there was the new Behringer UBXA, which looks like it's going to be fantastic. So, descending into Fort Wayne here. I always wonder when I'm landing, when I fly over a highway like that, what the people in the cars think when they look up and see my airplane landing. Any of you who fly airplanes will realize that you do not flare this airplane at all. If you notice, I land very flat, kind of like a jet. It's a very different airplane. So I got the courtesy car from the airport, and 5 minutes later, I'm here. Going into Sweetwater. At the beginning, you see the tribute to Chuck Surak, the founder of Sweetwater. He started Sweetwater in a Volkswagen van, setting up a recording studio that he would drive around and record mobile at clubs. And this is representing all the gear that he has bought and used over the years. I was amazed, or continue to be amazed, at this collection of 80s synths here that the number of these synths that I either own or have owned at one time is really quite amazing. There's a really great cafeteria restaurant in here, also a coffee shop, lots of nice, comfortable places to sit. I've done a really review on Sweetwater before, so let's just go into the showroom and get to it. The first thing you see is a headphone rack. You can put any of these on and see how they sound and decide which ones you want that sound best to you. Then we see all the different stores that you can go to, and of course there is the world's largest pedal display, which is every pedal that they sell. You can pull them off the shelf here, plug it into a guitar if you want to try it out and see how it sounds. This is set up like a mall, and each of the stores in the mall are a different type of instrument. And they have private booths. You can take some of the guitars in and things to try them out. There's used gear. They have band instruments now, and pretty much everything music related in terms of gear. They do have a used gear section, and I had a look over to see what they had. Not so many synthesizers this time. But as always, they have an absolute ton of guitars in the used section, along with pedals and amps and everything guitar. On to the studio room, we have tons and tons of mics that you can buy, audio interfaces, and then they have a stack of monitors, and you can play on these DAWs and use the effects there and listen to the different monitors. And then the PA room, we have PA speakers and mixers, and we also have lighting and lighting control boards. You can try all this stuff out as you like. In the main hall, there was some synthesizers set up for you to play with. They had this modular kit here with some bowl of cables so you can do your own patches. This was kind of interesting. They had a Bullfrog synth and then some Moog modulars. Going into the synthesizer room, this is obviously where we want to be. This is what we came for. So the last time I went here and I wrote about the Moog One and how I really didn't like it, and I got a lot of flack for that, so I went in and tried it again, and really I still don't like it. I did try the Arturia Polybrute, which I really actually do like that one. The Mini Freak, I don't have the hardware. I do have the software VST version of the the Mini Freak rather than the Micro Freak. The Polybrute, I wouldn't mind, but I don't think it really does anything that I don't already have. Like the Summit, which I do have. Every time I get a chance to play the Summit, I'm just amazed at how good it is, and I'm just thrilled that I own one of these. Love the Novation Summit. Such a capable and great sounding synthesizer. This was trouble. I loved this thing. I've never played a third wave before. I did play it just a little bit on camera, but then I spent probably about another 20 minutes playing it after I turned the camera off, just because I really wanted to get into it. Oh my gosh, what an incredible sounding synthesizer. This thing is just tremendous, but at almost $4,000, there's just no way I could justify this. So, I guess I'll go to Sweetwater and get my kicks playing it. Actually, sorry, not $4,000, $5,000 for the third wave. But what sounds come out of this thing? Just an incredible synthesizer. Basically sat here for 20 minutes and just played presets, and I was just blown away. If they want to send me a free third wave to review in the channel, I wouldn't complain. And there's the Gaia 2, which I didn't bother with because I have one. The JDXA, I keep wondering why they still sell this. It's pretty old and dated. But there you go, there's the JDXA. So here's the Phantom 8, and then next to it, the Montage M8x. I really wanted to try the M8x to see the poly aftertouch and just how it worked. Compared to the Hydrasynth poly aftertouch, I think I actually prefer the Hydrasynth. You do have to press a fair bit into the M8x to get the polyphonic aftertouch to actuate. Quite a bit more than you do on the Hydrasynth. As you can see here, I'm showing the depression of the key and how it activates the poly aftertouch. So there is a fair bit of pressure involved to get that to happen. Then I tried to see how quick the new weighted Yamaha key bed is. I am really impressed with this key bed. I'm not one for weighted key beds. They're not my favorite. I've always played on Synth Action. So if you have a look at the Phantom, it's really kind of bouncy. And you can hear it. It's a loud key bed. And it's very heavy and clunky. And if the keys really bounce around, if you look at it. Now go back to the M8x, and you see they're damped. There's no bouncing. I have to say, this is probably, if not one of the best, but the best graded hammer action key bed I've ever played on the M8x. Then over to the Oberheim, and yeah, this was trouble as well. the Oberheims just sound so fat and fizzy and wonderful. Again, this is another one, the OB6 here, that I spent a bunch of time playing after I turned off the camera. And on top of it, they had a Prophet 6, which sounds like a Prophet. And then I had that Trigon on top of that. Another Prophet 10 over here, which again sounds just like a Prophet. Kind of a noisy keypad though. And then a Sequential Pro 3. Didn't spend much time on it. Then I went over to my old friend, the Subsequent 37, the Moog. This has been on my shopping list for quite a long time. I'm pretty sure one of these will end up in my studio someday. This is just a bass monster, perfect for bass lines. I didn't play with the Hydrosynth Deluxe because I have one, but there's the Jupiter-X and the Juno-X. Played with both. Despite the fact that I know these are just Zencore engines and pretty much everything they can do, my Phantom can also do, I still, for some reason, really love these things. I don't know if it's just the tactile feel of them or just, I don't know. Something about these Roland synths I really like, except for those tiny postage stamp displays. Awful, awful, awful. But yes, I know I can do all this in the Phantom, and I have no reason to buy either of these. So I probably won't, but still nice to play. I tried the Moog X6. It has the new textured black keys on it, which felt kind of nice. And the new pitch and mod wheels on the Moog X Plus are quite nice. But the keybed itself is still the old Moog X keybed action. It's not an improved feel at all. Still one of the best deals in synthesizers today. Had a look at the Behringers, but I really wanted to see that UBXA, and they didn't have one. Now this is real trouble. I really, really wanted to try one of these, and this is another one I spent quite a while playing after I turned off the camera. It's the Osmose from Expressive E, and as you can see, it's got that weird MPE keybed where you can bend notes by pushing the keys sideways. It makes it a bit challenging to play because you find yourself playing out of tune a lot, but the sounds in this thing, they've spent a lot of time on sound design to make this thing sound incredible. And only $1,800 for this thing. I have a feeling this is going to show up in my studio at some point. I don't know what I would use it for, but it's really cool. Like I said, it would take a lot of work to learn how to play that. So I had a look at the pianos. I noticed the $100,000 Grands are no longer here. They've got some Yamahas and things, but Didn't spend any time in the pianos at all. But time to go home. I saw this little Piper Cub putting around the pattern, and then I thought, wow, look at that old thing from the 1940s compared to this brand new Vision Jet that just taxied in just after I landed. This thing is cool. I would really love to have one of those. And there's a Piper PA-28 Cherokee that I've flown many, many times. And then my airplane sitting over here on its nose because that's how you park it.
Smithfield traffic, experimental 7907, Delta Lima departing 23 Smithfield. Everything looks good.
I did get to spend some time meeting with my Sweetwater rep, who I had never actually met in person before, so it was great to meet him, and he showed me around the sales area. Really nice guy. As you know, if you're a Sweetwater customer, you get assigned one rep for life, and he's your guy. So I was hoping for strong tailwinds to take me home really fast, and unfortunately, as the day went on, those winds had died down, so I only had a weak tailwind, and as a result, I was only doing 170 knots across the ground, maybe about 195 miles per hour. So not as fast as I'd hoped, but it was a great trip, and now I'm descending back into Medina, Ohio. I gotta say, this is far better than driving 3.5 or 4 hours, this 45 or 50-minute flight. If you look closely, you'll see an airplane on the ground just waiting to come onto the runway to take off as I'm landing. Just in case you're wondering, the airplane and the canard wing in front there do not vibrate as much as you saw in this video. It's just the camera mount is vibrating from the engine. I need to figure out how to secure that camera mount better. Nice little landing. Didn't want to burn up the brakes, so I coasted down to the far end of the runway to turn around. If you are interested in my airplane and aviation in general, I did make a different version of this video and posted it on my Canard Boulevard YouTube channel. I'll put a link to it in the description below. So that was my trip to Sweetwater. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me and getting to see all the synthesizers. And of course, a beautiful flight on a beautiful day. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. And if you could spend just 10 seconds, click like on this video and then subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out so much when you do that. Thanks for watching.